This is CCS-TV, empowering voices, inspiring futures.
At Southern Chautauqua Federal Credit Union, we believe in supporting our community and helping you achieve your financial goals and strive to make a positive impact for our members and the community. Our mission is to empower individuals with the skills and resources necessary to achieve financial freedom. As our members and the community achieve their goals, we fulfill ours, creating a brighter future together. Southern Chautauqua Federal Credit Union, your partner in financial well-being.
Sportscast. I'm your host, Sebby Gibbs, and what a week this has been for NFL. Lots of free agents being signed, but that's for the next few segments. This segment, we're going to be talking about JHS boys basketball. JHS boys basketball had a big win against Health Science last week and is now preparing for a game against Fairport next week. We went to JHS practice earlier today and interviewed Coach Hall, so here it is. I'm Sebastian Gibbs. I'm here with JHS boys basketball coach, Coach Hall. So thank you for letting me interview today.
My pleasure.
And the first question is, how does it feel to three-peat the sectional title after beating Health Science last week?
Well, it's fantastic. We know I've coached here a long time, over 20 years, and sectional titles are hard to come by. They don't happen very often, and to be able to go back to back to back is something that I don't think has ever been done in Jamestown history. I think we have 19 sectional titles, and we've never three-peated, and it just speaks to a testament of the program and how far we've come. And it's almost the expectation now is to win section titles, and that happened under Coach Drake and it's been carried on with Coach Miley. And to win 3 in a row is a testament to the players and everybody involved in the process.
Yeah. So, how is this matchup different from both Niagara Falls and Health Science, and how do you two match up?
Well, at this point, everybody's good. Everybody, when you get to this far in the playoffs and you're playing for the semifinals, section titles, every team's a good team, and they all pose different challenges. They all have their own little nuances of the things that they do well. This particular matchup, Niagara Falls played really good D. Health Science had really good offensive players, and I think Fairport has a little combination of both. They play really good defense and combined with good players. So it'll certainly be a challenge for us.
Yeah. So speaking of one of Fairport's best players, Noah Meven, USC commit for volleyball. How do you guys think you're going to counter him this week?
Well, he's a great athlete. He's a good player. We watch some film, and the dunks always make the highlight reels and things like that. But, like we tell the players, a dunk is worth 2, just like a layup's worth 2. And, we've had a good history of, game planning and executing that game plan. And, he's just one of many. They're pretty balanced. They all average around the same amount of points. So I don't think we're going to key on one player too much. But it's a kind of a collective unit defensively and see if we can take care of business.
So JHS has played great this playoff, but what do you think JHS should do to improve and play even better?
Well, throughout all my years, I've been to 5 Final Fours, and the common denominator in all the teams when we do well is as we start really playing good defense. And, I think we saw that last week with Health Science. We shut down a team that's, a very good team with very good players. And, at this stage, that's what you want to keep doing. You want to keep playing better defense, and hopefully we can continue that trend and, keep our defense rolling, and I think that would be the key to victory.
Yeah. So who do you think has been, what players do you think have been the best contributors for this team this playoff and just in general this year?
Well, obviously, you have Dom, Elijah, and Gavin, and those guys obviously get the most, headlines in a sense because they score the most, but even to every player in the roles they play is so important, from Jordan Spencer playing great defense and Carson playing, being a presence in the middle. So sometimes even a lot of that stuff isn't stuff that necessarily shows up on the stat sheet, but is, invaluable to what we do. And, everybody that's been rotated in, even for just a little bit. Javion Barr last week came in, didn't play a lot of minutes, but knocked down a crucial free throw. And so I think everybody just fills their role and understands their role, and it's a collective unit.
Yeah, for sure. What are the keys to the game against Fairport, would you say?
executing the game plan. They're a good team. They like to get up and down, and it'll be similar to some of the things we've done with Falls and health sciences, but, we really have to, be on our defensive cues and what we need to do. And, and if we can do that, hopefully we can, keep it close and have an exciting game.
So, how do you think the student section in Buff State has played a role for this team? Do you think it motivates them more? How do you think that influences the play on the court?
Yeah, I mean, we're always the school farthest away from the southern tier going up to Buffalo, and it's always, they'd want to, they usually have a bigger presence than us, but our student section has come, has come large. And as you could probably see it at the end of when we won the section title, our players, after they got the plaque, they immediately went and celebrated with the student section. And I know it means a lot to us, and I know it means a lot to our players to have that support. And, you can hear it, and it gives us that little boost of energy sometimes that we need.
So, what improvements have you seen from your team since the start of the season to the regionals on Friday?
Yeah, every season is like a story. And, when you ask a lot of us coaches, if you ask us back in November, we all say we stink, but the season as it progresses, we always talk about how are we playing after Christmas, after the New Year, and you can see, we're certainly much better than we were in our first games in early December, and that progression, of playing, just better as a unit, and defensively, like I was mentioning before, is the key, and just improving defensively. I think we're so much better defensively than we were, back in January and December, and, that bears out in our success so far.
So, over the years, this is the last question, over the years, is there a former player or moment that shaped the way you coach?
Say that again, over the years,
is there a former moment or player that's, shaped the way you coach?
Well, like I said, I've been here over 20 years, and it was me, Coach Miley, Coach Stockwell, and Coach Drake, and we were a pretty tight unit, and, having been coaching with each other over those years for so long, I think we really understood. I mean, Coach Drake started it all as far as, laying the groundwork for the program and how the vision on how we wanted to play and how we want to approach things. I mean, I would give credit to Coach Drake for laying that down, and, we were all on board with that. And we all have been together so long, we kind of understand what each other wants. We understand the way that we want to do things and the way we approach, Jamestown basketball. And I think we've been, pretty successful at doing that over the years.
So thank you so much. I wish you the best of luck this upcoming game.
All right.
And back to the Sportscast.
Thank you.
Welcome back to CCS Sportscast. One thing I forgot to mention, it's a new season. We have a whole new backdrop. Everything looks great. Shout out Justin and Kresge. And, yeah. So, for JHS basketball, they match up against Fairport. Fairport, lots of good players, one including Noah Beeman, crazy athletic basketball player, mainly a volleyball player going to USC. We have a couple clips of him windmilling in games, alleys. It's insane. Very good athlete, but the whole team is very, very well-rounded. Here's one, catches the ball at half, and just, windmills, whatever. So, very athletic team, and it's going to be a good game. It's a very tough matchup for Jamestown, Fairport being the number 9 in the state. So that I think it'll be a pretty good game, but very exciting things for Jamestown. Anyway, more basketball news. Bam Adebayo breaks Kobe Bryant's 81-point record, is second all-time in single-game point scoring, 83 points, which I thought it was a very good performance. He had 43 points off free throws, which is actually insane. 43 points in the first half. Nice fadeaway there. Bam Adebayo, 83 points. Crazy performance. And out of all people in the NBA, you would think maybe Shea would have 83. Maybe Jokic would have 80. No, it's Bam Adebayo with the 83 points. So, obviously, it's a very good accomplishment for Bam Adebayo there. And we will talk to you more about free agency and stuff like that in the next 2 segments. So we will see you guys then.
Ladies, it's your night to shine. The CCS 5th Annual Ladies Red Carpet Gala is back. Join us for an evening of dancing, desserts, and dazzling fun. Saturday, March 28th from 7 to 11 p.m. at the Doubletree Hotel Ballroom in Jamestown. Tickets are just $30, ladies only, 21 and up. Proceeds benefit the Community Foundation's Chautauqua Area Scholarship Program Fund, helping support young women in our community.
Jamestown, New York is where innovation meets sustainable growth, fostering a vibrant community of creative, dedicated people who truly love where they live. It's a place where you can build a fulfilling life with excellent schools, quality healthcare, and a cost of living that supports your ideal lifestyle. Blending small-town charm with easy access to big city amenities, Jamestown is the perfect place to live, work, and raise a family. Jamestown, New York, the pearl of opportunity and balance.
Welcome to the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame, located at 15 West 3rd Street in Jamestown. Visitors will see photographs, awards, apparel, and other sports memorabilia. We invite all visitors to stop in the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame and learn about the sports history of Chautauqua County.
At Wegmans, we've crafted our new sandwiches with layers and layers of deliciousness. Each one is made fresh with our very best ingredients, like hearty breads made with grains from near our stores, premium cheeses, and freshly carved meats. We've packed big, delicious flavor into every bite for sandwiches that are endlessly good.
Welcome back to the CCS Sportscast. I'm your host, Sebby Gibbs. Breaking news, as we are doing this podcast will have to be filmed a little bit early, 3 hours early or so, currently about 4:30. But breaking news, as we're doing this podcast, Bradley Chubb signed to the Buffalo Bills. I have the details right here. Bradley Chubb signed to a 3-year, $43.5 million deal. It guaranteed $43.5 million deal with incentives could be up to $52.5 million, and it includes $30 million guaranteed. That's a great signing for the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills needed D-end, O-line, safety, cornerback, and linebacker for this. They are still trying to complete a couple of those signings, but great signing for the Bills. We are going to talk about all Bills next segment. This segment is going to be free agency day one. Day one being Monday, transactions. So the first major one was Max Crosby gets traded to the Baltimore Ravens for 2 first-round picks, but it got called back. Max Crosby fails his physical, and this messes up the Raiders a lot because Raiders they're over the cap without Max Crosby, I believe. They're almost over the cap without Max Crosby. Max Crosby adds another $30 million to that, and now they're over the cap big time, which this is not good for the Raiders at all, this is very, I don't know, because then the Ravens go and sign Trey Hendrickson. So is it really the physical that made this trade decline, or was it we just traded 2 first-round picks for a wide receiver or for the end that we can just sign in free agency? I don't know. I think both sides would have won in the previous trade. I think it's a little bit worse for the Raiders now because Max Crosby been wanting out from Las Vegas for a long time now. So I think it's kind of screws the Raiders a little bit. So next one, Tua is got picked up by Atlanta Falcons for a vet minimum, and that leads to Malik Willis being picked up by the Dolphins for a 3-year, $67.5 million deal. And I do not like this deal at all for the Dolphins. Malik Willis is very unproven, and he's a quarterback that has started a couple games, was a late-round pick for the Tennessee Titans, didn't do good on the Titans, then went to Green Bay and had he was backing up for Jordan Love, had a couple appearances, and apparently that's worth $67 million, so I'm not sure. Tyler Linderbaum picked up 3 years, $81 million by the Raiders, and this is one of the big deals that impacted the Raiders' salary cap. 3 years for $81 million. That's a huge deal. Tyler Linderbaum, great center. And I like what the Raiders are doing here. They're building around Francisco Mendoza. And I like what they're doing. Mendoza is obviously the first-round pick for the Raiders, and I like how they're building around him like that. Next deal, Trent McDuffie. This happened a little bit before free agency. Trent McDuffie trading to the LA Rams and extended. So, I don't know. McDuffie, great cornerback for the Chiefs. They trade him for a lot more than I thought. But this kind of Rams, again, salary cap. Rams, then they signed Jalen Watson for a 3-year, $45 million, somewhere around there. So their salary cap off of these Chiefs cornerbacks is going up, and it's not great for them. So Mika Fitzpatrick to New York for a 7th-round pick. That's not very major, but I think that the Jets definitely won that one. Rashawn Gary trade to the Cowboys for a 4th-round pick. This one's very interesting because Rashawn Gary is not the greatest of DNs when Trey Hendrickson is one of the people who the Cowboys were trying to target in free agency, and Max Crosby. So I think it's kind of strange that they went with Rashawn Gary, but it's definitely for the cap, it's definitely better. So Travis Kelce extended 1 more year. He decides not to retire. Another one, Alec Pierce signed 4 years, $116 million to the Indianapolis Colts. And this deal is just, I don't know. You look at Gabe Davis' first 4 years, and he has very similar stats to Alec Pierce. Bills don't even resign Gabe Davis. Alec Pierce gets $29 a year for 4 years. I hate this deal. I don't think it's good for the Colts at all, and I just don't like it. I don't think Alec Pierce is proven. Same thing with Malik Willis. I don't think Malik Willis is proven. I don't think Alec Pierce is proven. If they go and ball out, good for them, but I just don't think they're proven players. So Jalen Phillips to Carolina for 4 years, $120 million. He gets that bag, $30 million a year, and that's insane as well. Jalen Phillips, not one of the greatest DNs in the league. He's above average, I would say, but $30 million a year for Jalen Phillips is a little crazy. But I will admit he's a good player and great for Carolina. Michael Pittman Jr. traded to Pittsburgh for a 7th-round pick, or 4th, 7th, I'm not sure. I don't have the details on that one. But he was extended 3 years, $59 million. Good deal for the Pittsburgh Steelers there. They traded for DK Metcalf last year, traded for Michael Pittman this year, and it starts building around their youth out in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh also signs Rico Dowdle, so again, building that youth around. And then the 2 other major ones in day one, Mike Evans, 3 years, $60 million to San Francisco 49ers. I think that's a great deal for both of them. I think it's a little bit of overpay, but Mike Evans is a great receiver. Even though he's old, he has the 1,000-yard streak, so he had the 1,000-yard streak, excuse me. I think he's a great player. And then Kenneth Walker, the Super Bowl MVP, signed to the Kansas City Chiefs. That's dangerous. They got Patrick Mahomes, Xavier Worthy, and they have pick 9. This is their running back. They could go out and get Carnell Tate at pick 9. So this is dangerous. They're going to be a very great team next year. Yeah, sorry, the lighting there was not. Sun just came out. Finally, it's been rainy this entire day. And then last big deal of day one, Giants go out and sign Isaiah Likely, need at tight end, and I think that's a great deal for the Giants. I think it's a great deal for the Giants getting youth receivers for Jackson Dart. So we will see you on the next segment where we talk about Bills free agency in day 2/day 3 of free agency. A lot of stuff happened, like Bradley Chubb. We will talk about that more. So we will see you on the next segment of CCS Sportscast.
To enlist into the National Guard, you first have to contact a recruiter. So either calling up your local office or going online and finding who your nearest recruiter is. So you talk to the recruiter. Once you speak to them and you schedule an appointment, you come in. Don't be afraid to come into our office. Coming in does not make you have to join. It's just answering any questions that you might have and seeing how we can help you get there.
Place where you can not only find your next new car, you can customize it exactly how you want it. Build a vehicle from one of your favorite brands, secure rebates and incentives, and expect delivery within 6 to 8 weeks. Get the keys to your ride in-store or in your own driveway and enjoy a year of complimentary Schultz Auto Care. Walk in to view our exciting inventory of vehicles arriving daily, or schedule your digital consultation online today to discover why we say you can't beat a Schultz deal.
At Southern Chautauqua Federal Credit Union, we believe in supporting our community and helping you achieve your financial goals and strive to make a positive impact for our members and the community. Our mission is to empower individuals with the skills and resources necessary to achieve financial freedom. As our members and the community achieve their goals, we fulfill ours, creating a brighter future together. Southern Chautauqua Federal Credit Union, your partner in financial well-being.
Welcome back on CCS Sportscast to the final segment of this podcast. And free agency day 2 and 3, a little quiet. Max Crosby obviously got declined on day 2, which was crazy, but Raiders are still listening to offers for Max Crosby. The Bills are now out of the picture for Max Crosby. I think it was a bit unrealistic in general, but as they signed Bradley Chubb to that deal, it is over. So free agency day 2 and 3. Day 3 being today. So if I miss anything, it's because we're a little behind. We had to record this one a little bit early. But first deal, Lions signed Isaiah Pacheco. Lions trade David Montgomery earlier this last week. And they now sign Isaiah Pacheco. Great goal line back there for the Lions. Well, for the Chiefs, and now he's going to be on the Lions. Physical running back. So there it is for the Lions backup. Texans signed offensive lineman Braden Smith, $25 million over 2 years, $12.5 a year. Great lineman there. I mean, you can never have too much at the line. 5 positions there, and one of the most important positions in football. So next, Jets trade a 6th and Geno Smith. Wait, no. Jets trade 6 for Geno Smith in the 7th round pick. So Jets might have found their guy in Geno Smith for the starter. I think they're going to go out and get Kirk Cousins or Kyler Murray, both officially released today, about 40 minutes ago at 4 o'clock. This one's big. I don't love it, though. Patriots signed Romeo Doubs 4-year for $68 million, and I don't think he's a number 1 for the Patriots. And I will explain that more later because I'm going to talk about more a little bit later. Saints signed Caden Ellis, 3 years, $33 million. Great linebacker there. Reek Woolen, 1 year, $15 million to the Eagles. Steelers extend Cam Hayward, 1 year, $32 million. And this is where it gets big. Daniel Jones extended 2 years, $88 million. Gets an absolute bag. And I'm still not sold on Daniel Jones yet. I was not sold on Daniel Jones when he went and got $160 million from the Giants a couple years ago now. But I'm definitely not sold on him right now after he tears his Achilles and had a broken fibula. So I do not love this deal at all. Next, Trey Hendrickson signed by Ravens, 4-year, $116 million after getting Peace. After the Max Crosby trade getting declined. So, great deal for the Ravens there. INT leader Kevin Byard and reception leader Kevin Byard signs to the Patriots, 1 year, $9 million. Good deal there for the Patriots. So now we're going to go to our free agency biggest winners, biggest losers. 3 biggest winners, 3 biggest losers. Biggest winners, the Raiders. Raiders signed Tyler Linderbaum, Nakobe Dean, Quay Walker, Quinny Pay, Eric Stokes, Jalen Naylor, Matt Gay, and they traded for Taron Johnson. So get a whole bunch of role players, good role players for this Raiders team. And they get to keep their two first-round picks, and they get to keep Max Crosby if they please. Or no, they lose their 2 first-round picks, but they get Max Crosby if they please. So next, a biggest winner, Chiefs. They signed Kenneth Walker, Super Bowl MVP. They trade Trent McDuffie for pick 21. Chiefs have picked 9 and 21 to get offensive weapons after they just got an offensive weapon in Kenneth Walker. So I think the Giants are also one of the biggest winners off of just their absolute haul that they got in free agency. And I think, I have one biggest loser. We're kind of getting short on time, so I'm just going to cut it to one. I think this is the biggest loser is the Patriots. Patriots have signed not many people, and they signed Romeo Doubs, the most unproven receiver on the market, for 4 years, $68 million. That's crazy to me. So, next, we're going to kind of have to go through this quick. I'm sorry, but salary cut for the Bills. Salary cuts include Taron Johnson, Curtis Samuel, Dane Jackson, and Taylor Rapp. So they're kind of role players. They kind of had to cut them for cap issues to get under. And then Bills trade 2nd and 5th for DJ Moore and a 5th-round pick. Or Bills trade 2nd for DJ Moore and a 5th. Found their wide receiver 1. I do not hate it. They did overpay a little bit, but I do not hate it. They re-signed Connor McGovern, 4-year, $32 million. Guaranteed $32 million, possible $52 million with incentives and stuff. Keeping Buffalo, you know what I'm saying? So there's questions at guard. Bills still have Alec Anderson on the team. Played the jumbo a little bit, and I do not hate Alec Anderson starting for us at guard. Bills trade Taron Johnson in a 7th-round pick for a 6th-round pick. And this one's because of the defensive coordinator. Defense coordinator does not run a nickel. It's a very, it's not a nickel scheme. So Bills signed Kyle Allen with Mitch Wisnowski and Bills splash with D. Alford, 3-year, $21 million, $10 million guaranteed. He's a great slot corner. Dawson Knox signed to the Bills for 3 more years. Bills restructure Allen for $10 million, and Bills tender Ryan Van Denmark for $3.5 million. So Ryan Van Denmark for 1 more year. And then they signed Bradley Chubb. Great deal there, finding need at the end. And Bills need to look out for corner, safety, linebacker, and I would see maybe even today, maybe even tomorrow, Shaq Thompson, Matt Milano, Epinesa all getting re-signed. I could see that. I don't know so much about Jordan Poyer, maybe Trey White. So I would definitely see that for the Bills. Thank you for tuning in on this week's CCS Sportscast, and we will see you guys next week.
Looking to feed the family, the whole team, or just your own hungry self? Honest John's has you covered. We're talking fresh-made subs, crispy wings, and pizza so good you might just start happy dancing. Trust Honest John's for takeout, delivery, and easy online ordering so you can get the goods without lifting more than a finger. Or stop in for our famous all-you-can-eat pizza buffet. From crispy wings to cheesy pies, Honest John's satisfies. Order now at honestjohns.pizza.
There's always something happening in Lakewood. Kids can climb, swing, and play on our brand new playground, while grown-ups shop, sip coffee at Ryder's Cup, or catch live music at Hartley Park. Hit the courts, sail the lake, and explore our library and local markets. Lakewood brings neighbors and visitors together with fun around every corner. Lakewood, New York. Come play,